Hi everybody, my name is Olivia Spots and I am going to be covering the topic of birth control. So first I'm just going to start off with a little introduction about birth control, then I'll move on to the pros and the cons, my own personal opinion, and then I will go into a conclusion just to tie up all of the facts that I gave above so everybody can make their own personal opinion. So studies have shown that in 2002, the unplanned pregnancy rate in the United States was at 49%, almost half. There's so many different opinions surrounding birth control in the United States. And in the early years of America, there was really no reason to stop the number of children that a woman can carry because they were needed in their families. Even in some cases, birth control was not accepted, banned, made legal by authorities, and making it super, super controversial. But we have moved into later years, and birth control is much more accepted now. Birth control is beneficial to women for protection, ease in periods, and it comes in all different shapes and sizes so that any option is available for them. There are some disadvantages to birth control, which I will cover later in this presentation, but I will cover both the pros and the cons to birth control, and I'll show its benefits, its downsides, so every person can make their own opinion. First, we'll move on to the pros. So, as I stated earlier, birth control comes in so many different shapes and sizes. This gives women options for what they're comfortable with. Different birth controls, such as the patch and the ring, are both birth control options that are the same amount of commitment as the pill, but they are much more effective. The IUD is a birth control that is very effective. It is almost impossible to misuse, and it lasts for 5 to 10 years. This is the longest lasting birth control. In the early 1920s, studies showed that immigrants and working class was on the rise, and this was becoming an issue with the amount of children that are being born. The use of birth control helped benefit the overall health and happiness of the urban areas where immigrants, working class, and poor civilians did not have the expenses to birth another child. Now I'll move on to the cons. The IUD is a birth control contraceptive that is a big commitment, and it has risks that can harm a woman's reproductive health. The IUD can cause risks of PID, which is pelvic inflammation disease, and this later could translate into infertility. Another con is that there are certain birth control options, such as the patch, the ring, and the IUD. They are much more expensive than the basic birth control pill. And companies like the health department and Planned Parenthood do not have the funds to make these birth controls available to women with poor healthcare plans and little money. So therefore, the only birth control contraceptive that is available to people who do not have as much money as others is the pill, and the pill is very easy to forget for most women. So for my personal opinion, I believe that birth control is a great option for every woman, and it gives women the right to decide when they are ready to have a child. This could be due to financial responsibilities, education, living circumstances, single, are you married, etc. Birth control just gives you so much more options with your life. Birth control also is very helpful in painful periods, and I personally have had to deal with this, and birth control has helped me throughout my whole life after puberty. Lack of birth control can result in many children being born into unsafe growing environments because that parent was not ready to have a child just yet. I think this is very important to cover because many people aren't ready to have children, and birth control is a perfect example of using something to help contribute to a healthy environment for your child. In conclusion, birth control helps stop the amount of unwanted pregnancies in America. The patch and the ring are options that are effective with little commitment, and the IUD and implants are options that are very, very effective and they're longer term. Most of the birth control options are not easily accessible to people in poverty, but that does not mean that they are not able to use birth control at all. The IUD is definitely the most effective option for birth control, but it does have a risk of pelvic inflammation disease, and that can result in infertility. The use of birth control is something that should be shown as an option to all women. Not every woman is ready to have children, and birth control is an option to stop unwanted pregnancies. Thank you.